Shane Gillis' ESPYs Monologue took aim at everyone, from President Trump to Shedeur Sanders. Shane Gillis gave zero hex about making anyone uncomfortable with his monologue. He hit the gas pedal from the start on Wednesday night at the ESPY Awards, and he never let up. The 37-year-old comedian's monologue in front of the world's biggest sports stars took aim seemingly at just about everyone, from WNBA star Caitlin Clark to former Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders. He says it seemed as though Gillis was going for the jugular the entire night, and even zeroed in on a subject that has captivated the entire nation, the Jeffrey Epstein files. Gillis first set up the joke with a jab at President Donald Trump, which drew huge laughter from the crowd at the Dolby Theater in downtown Los Angeles. Donald Trump wants to stage a UFC fight on the White House lawn. The last time he staged a fight in D.C., Mike Pence almost died, he joked. Gillis added, actually, there was supposed to be an Epstein joke here, but I guess it got deleted. Probably deleted itself, right? Probably never existed, actually. Let's move on as a country and ignore that. Gillis then went after Deion Sanders' son, who earlier this year, shockingly, slid in the NFL draft. The Cleveland Browns finally selected him in the 5th round with the 144th overall pick. Shedeur Sanders had his jersey retired at Colorado this year. People are saying it's because of nepotism, because of his father, Gillis said. And it's not. It's because he went 13-12 over his career, and he almost won the Alamo Bowl. Gillis also walked down memory lane during his monologue as he conjured up Norm Macdonald's controversial bit for an eerily similar joke about two ways Jacksonville Jaguars star Travis Hunter. Hunter won the Heisman Trophy this year. He is the first defensive player since Charles Woodson to win the Heisman, Gillis said. Congratulations, Travis Hunter. Winning the Heisman is something they can never take away from you, unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case they can take it away from you. Macdonald made the same joke about former Michigan two-way star Charles Woodson during the 1998 ESPYs, and both times the joke got mixed reactions. As for Clark, the Indiana Fever star, Gillis' joke about her made people uncomfortable. It's a big year for the WNBA. I love Caitlin Clark, he said. Caitlin Clark, she and I have a lot in common. We're both whites from the Midwest who have nailed a bunch of threes. He then winced and added, when Caitlin Clark retires from the WNBA, she's going to work at a Waffle House so she continued doing what she loves most, fist-fighting black women. When Shane Gillis stepped onto the stage at the 2025 ESPY Awards, no one quite knew what to expect. He wasn't just an unconventional choice. He was a loaded cannon with a smoking fuse, known for his offbeat, no-filter comedy and a cancellation arc that turned into a full-blown redemption tour. Gillis wasn't there to play it safe. He was there to roast. And roast he did, with fire hot enough to melt the golden statue behind him. The Dolby Theater buzzed with nerves before he even opened his mouth. By the end of the night, that buzz had morphed into a stunned silence, followed by bursts of laughter, gasps, a few uncomfortable shuffles, and maybe a dozen PR teams frantically drafting statements. Act 1, the gloves come off early. Gillis started soft for about 14 seconds. Then came the punchlines one after the next, no warm-up necessary. President Trump actually wanted to be here tonight, he deadpanned. But he heard Juan Soto was going to be here and thought this was an ICE operation. Cue laughter, mixed with groans. The political flame was lit. Gillis didn't care. He launched right into a Trump impersonation, mockingly defending Epstein records that never existed, before pivoting to Biden with a remark so incomprehensibly dry, it took 5 seconds for anyone to realize it was a joke. He was walking a razor-thin line, and he seemed to know it, grinning like a man who'd already accepted he'd never be invited back. Act 2, athletes in the crosshairs. Shedeur. Sanders didn't escape either. Shedeur got an NIL deal for $4,800,000, 0 cents last year, Gillis said, which is great, and he used it to buy sunglasses, chains, and a passing game that disappears every time they play Oregon. A beat of laughter. Even Deion Sanders cracked a smile. Half pride, half we're going to talk about this backstage. Aaron Rodgers came next. Rodgers refused the vaccine, said it would hurt him, then joined the Jets. So I guess he wasn't right about everything. Megan Rapinoe, Simone Biles, even Shohei Ohtani's interpreter got a drive-by. Gillis didn't discriminate. He went full throttle on everyone, sports legends and rookies alike. Then came Caitlin Clark. When Caitlin retires, he said, pausing with a knowing smirk, she's going to work at a Waffle House, fist-fighting customers at 2 a.m. like a real hooper. This one struck a nerve. Half the room howled, the other half winced. Even Clark seemed unsure whether to laugh or plan a quiet exit. Act 3, Norm's Ghost and the Final Blow. Somewhere in the middle of his act, Gillis dropped what would be his most talked about line, a tribute to Norm Macdonald, the late comedian who famously opened the 1998 ESPYs by roasting O.J. Simpson. Travis Hunter had a great season, Gillis began. First guy to win both sides of the ball, unless, of course, you count O.J.'s silence. Then, scattered gasps. Then, unexpectedly, applause. The ghost of Norm Macdonald had been summoned, and it was smiling. A comedian's tightrope, Shane Gillis's monologue was less of a comedy set and more of a high-wire act across a pit of cancel culture crocodiles. He knew the risks. He stared into the storm and made it his stage. And it was funny. At times, brilliantly so. But it was also deeply uncomfortable. So was the room. However, it seemed to matter. At times, brilliantly so, but it was also deeply uncomfortable, because he said the things no one else would say, and not everyone believed those things were meant to be said in the first place. But maybe that was the point. In an age where public figures rehearse every syllable, and PR statements are polished like campaign speeches, Gillis came in with a verbal flamethrower and torched the script. Reactions? From standing ovations to Twitter torches, social media lit up instantly. Some called him the future of sports comedy. Others said he was offensive, reckless, even dangerous. ESPN offered no comment. Athletes, meanwhile, posted cryptic reactions. Travis Kelce tweeted a fire emoji. Simone Biles liked a tweet calling the monologue gross. The internet was divided and electrified, but one thing was certain. No one forgot it. The afterburn, whether you loved him or hated him, Shane Gillis did what few hosts in award show history have done. He made the ESPYs must-watch television. For 10 minutes, he held the sports world hostage with a microphone, an iron stomach, and a complete lack of fear. It wasn't polished, it wasn't always pretty, but it was undeniably Shane Gillis. And in a world addicted to safe, sound-bitten laughter, maybe that kind of reckless honesty, flawed, raw, unfiltered, is exactly what made it unforgettable.